Marijuana robbery gone wrong, crashes car. Or is this that viral video where like the guy reaches into the car and then he like floors it? Actually, I think I know exactly what video this is. This is that one that got big on Reddit a while ago. Yep, this is the one. Yeah, and then this douchebag tries to like take off and it doesn't work. His friend hopped in the trunk, if I remember correctly. Why record a robbery? For those Facebook likes? It's 2012, baby.
I'm in a silver car. Look left. Oh shit. Alright.
His heart is racing. His first robbery attempt. Let's go! Thanks to the resub Panda and Jordansky. Yeah.
Why you trying to rob me, yo?
That'll do it. A pretty good plan. Just unlucky with the tree placement.
You're stuck.
I don't know what the follow-up is. I've never found the follow-up. But, yeah. It was a pretty good plan. It wasn't even that much. Yeah, it was like 40 bucks, according to the description, I guess. Let's see some tits. You're in the wrong category. It's the pools and hot tubs category. It's probably to the right of this one. The Strange Fate of Alfred Loewenstein. This? The third... Man, Raid really has done like an incredible job. Even if I just want to see like a quick, like less than 2-second thing for the video here, it's just Raid. That's very impressive. Man disappears from an airplane mid-flight, so like DB Cooper.
July 4th, 1928. A fabulously wealthy businessman, Alfred Loewenstein, arrived at the airport. He was about to enter the plane, not knowing it would be his last time touching the ground. It was a routine flight he made on regular basis that would take him across the English and French coastlines before landing at Brussels, where he lived with his wife, Madeleine. Despite rain and night time, the flight seemed to go smoothly.
This guy's voice is scary. Are we sure he didn't kill Alfred?
At some point over the English Channel, Loewenstein got up to his feet and went to a tiny bathroom compartment at the back of the cabin, not suspecting a thing. The beach was polluted with French military, so the pilot and Loewenstein's crew were apprehended immediately. They were still at shock as to what happened to their boss, but eventually they came to a conclusion that Alfred accidentally opened the exit door instead of the toilet door and that he fell to his death. But
how could that even be a mistake that could be made?
Yet to come. A couple of weeks later, July 19th, the local fisherman was just doing
it should be really hard to open the exit door.
A suit floating near the French coast.
Thanks to
but
the
of course,
screen.
what he didn't realize was that he was looking at lifeless body of Alfred Loewenstein.
And nothing crazy green.
Cold.
It's not a guitar box.
They eventually retrieved the body, and Alfred's widow Madeleine arranged a private autopsy to determine the cause of death. The examination found no signs that could indicate foul play.
Yeah, I guess 1928 was very different.
An official inquiry concluded that Loewenstein's death was accidental. That conclusion was in great part based on the testimonies of Donald Drew, the pilot, and Robert Little, the mechanic. Both of them insisted that the exit door was easy to open and that it was entirely possible for Loewenstein to open it by accident.
So these two are definitely guilty, they killed him.
Later, the truthfulness of this claim will come under intense scrutiny. So, it was all just a pure accident, right? Well, this claim seems highly
I would be such a good investigator. I'd just arrest anyone I had an inkling of suspicion about.
To open as the staff had claimed.
Rather just shoot like a shotgun blast and get one right than try and hone in and get it wrong.
In the weeks following the incident. Some even involved men from the British Air Ministry throwing themselves at the entry door at an altitude of more than 1,000 feet. The door withstood the weight with relative ease. The conclusion was clear and simple. No one could have fallen out of the plane by an accident. Well, if it wasn't an accident, was it suicide?
Nice,
He was certainly under pressure from investors, and some have even speculated that his corrupt practices were about to be exposed. So he probably chose death over disgrace. But no direct evidence linking him to corruption was ever produced. And again, the facts just don't add up. Loewenstein wasn't depressed and he was making plans for the future just before the incident. Let's say he did commit suicide.
And that plan was to throw himself out of a
reason.
plane.
Again, there is still the issue of the door. Loewenstein couldn't have opened it even if he was trying to kill himself. This leaves us with one conclusion: murder. Alfred Loewenstein was forced off the plane. If that was indeed the case,
by D.B. Cooper.
Did it. Now, remember when we talked about how the exit door couldn't be opened mid-flight? Well, there's a theory that the conspirators replaced the entry door with a rigged one that featured loose bolts. This would make opening it mid-flight and sending Alfred to his death a fairly simple task. As for the original door, it could
If you're
have
the
been
third
placed
richest
a
man in the
small
world,
luggage compartment
why wouldn't you
at the
hire
back.
pilots
The
that
two
you
doors would
knew?
then be switched upon landing. The final question remains: who was behind the plot? Some likely suspects include Henry Dreyfus, a business rival and former associate of Alfred.
Well, that's a bit of a
The feud
reach.
escalated
I
when
don't know
Loewenstein
about
discovered
that.
that Henry was behind an expose that circulated in the Belgian press few months before the incident. As a consequence, Dreyfus was facing a libel suit. Crime writers Robert and Carol Bridgestock have speculated that Loewenstein faked his own death and disappeared because of the financial irregularities in his businesses. This theory is supported by the facts that the body was buried in an unmarked grave and that his wife did not attend the funeral. At a distance of almost a century, your guess is as good as mine. However,
That's pretty
one
weird.
last interesting twist to the tale, should you be inclined to believe in these things.
Thanks to the research
Mrs.
spaceman.
M. Taylor, a respected medium at the time, claimed to have been contacted by the spirit of Alfred Loewenstein.
Oh, yes.
And she alleged to make the following statement.
That's
no
who I'll
idea of
believe.
Suicide entered my head till I went to inspect the plane before
That's the
takeoff.
prime code.
Later, I suddenly felt an irresistible impulse to open the door and end my existence. I fought it, but each time it grew stronger. A fierce longing took possession of me which I could not deny. What I went through you will never understand. I longed for death more passionately than a condemned man longs for to this day. With that being
No, she
said,
solved it.
we
She
came
talked
to
to
an
him.
end. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a like since it only takes you a second and means a lot to us. Also consider subscribing.
That was a lot of effort from this channel. I've never heard of them before, but that was very well made. I thought that was put together really nicely. Nice. Actually shocking. And that is an interesting story. They told that story in 9 minutes as opposed to 32. And I feel like they hit all of the important bits. That's what I like to see right there. They're able to condense an interesting story without it dragging. Much better. Much, much better. Joe Simonton pancake encounter? Is this satire? This is very clearly satire.
With an extraterrestrial being. As a child, this one always made me quite hungry.
There's a tier 1
This
VZ.
is the testimony of Joe Simonton.
And the tier 1 inventions.
It was an ordinary day for
Tier 1
60-year-old plumber Joe
Starchster.
Simonton. He was
There's
making his
Byron.
lunch on his chicken farm when his life changed forever.
The production
Sound like
here is
tires
wild.
on wet pavement screeched above his property. When he looked out the window, he saw a craft descend to the ground. He rushed
There's some
outside
wavy and
when he
faded.
saw this.
And Raula.
There was a hatchway opening up in the top of it, just like the trunk of your car. And in there stood a little man. I say a little man, about 5 foot tall.
That's not little,
holding up
damn
a
it.
jug or a container, and he motioned he wanted to drink.
The little man was wearing a two-piece suit and looked, according to Joe, Italian.
What?
On a separate occasion, he described them as wearing one piece. Still in shock, he took the filled jug back to the spaceship and handed it back to the man. The little man gave him a salute with the back of his hand.
Stop calling him a little man.
And Joe saluted back. Then silence. Joe described what they were making as pancakes. Unsure of what to do, Joe signaled that he wanted
those
one of the
fucking
pancakes
bastards
by symbolizing eating.
coming to
The
Earth
man
to make
didn't say a
pancakes.
word, but grabbed 4 of them and handed them to Joe. They were incredibly hot and greasy.
If that was their food, God help them, because I took a bite of one of them and it tasted like a piece of cardboard. And if that's what they lived on, no wonder they're small.
Jesus Christ,
Then,
Joe.
Joe exited the craft.
Well, there I stood in the driveway with a handful of greasy pancakes and my mouth open, wondering what the heck I'd saw, what had happened.
He kept the story to himself, but eventually felt as if it was important enough.
I bet
to
if he went
contact
on Joe
authorities.
Rogan, Joe would
The Air
absolutely
Force's
believe
UFO
this.
investigation team, Project
Pancake
Blue
eating
Book,
aliens?
was on the
Anything's
case
possible.
And had determined that he was a credible witness, but found no evidence to corroborate his story. The 4 pancakes ended up in different locations. The first one was taken by Project Blue Book, the second was kept by Joe, and the remaining 2 were given to various UFO investigation committees.
Can I see the pancakes?
First off is the pancake.
Oh, look at
If
that.
it was from some extraterrestrial kitchen,
It's like a
then
beehive.
what would it be made of? It was determined either by the Food and Drug Department or a group from Northwestern University, it's not really sure, that they were just regular buckwheat flapjacks made of flour, wheat, sugar,
So
and
they have good
grease.
taste then, eh?
Which I guess other planets could have those ingredients. But what are the chances? There are rumors that the wheat was unidentified. Who were they? The testimony
Maybe they
leads
just
to a
were
few
Italians from
theories.
another
Theory
dimension.
1. Joe carried out a hoax. He made the pancakes and told a wild story just for the attention. This is a difficult one for me to believe due to Dr. Hynek saying his testimony seemed truthful.
Why?
But he could have just been a very good liar.
He doesn't even
Which
have to be a
leads
good
into
liar.
Theory 2. But how do they pull off the saucer effect? And why this sort of prank when Joe had no interest in UFOs before this encounter? Ultimately, when he was visited in
What a
1970
dumb
by
fucking
UFO
story.
enthusiast Lee Alexander, Joe admitted that he had seen aliens since. He decided not to tell anyone.
That's fucked up. He kept the pancakes to himself?
We may never know the truth, therefore it remains a mystery of the unexplained.
I mean, it's definitely not unexplained. There is a 0% chance Joe Simonton was visited by small Italian aliens to make him pancakes. That is outrageous. Why under any circumstances would anyone even humor that idea? That man needed mental help. The possibility is not 0. It is literally 0. I can say with a high level of confidence, there is a 0% chance there is it's some planet out there in our solar system that has nothing but small Italians that occasionally visit Earth to cook pancakes for old men using buckwheat and butter. It's a 0% chance. But god damn it, I wish it was real. I mean, to be honest, if that is real, I am so fucking jealous. This man not only got to meet aliens, but also got free pancakes. Like, that's fucking great. Yeah, if the multiverse theory is accurate and, you know, everything's possible, then I do suppose there is a chance that at some point there were small Italian aliens cooking pancakes. Sending an air tag to North Korea. What's an air tag? I sent an air tag to North Korea.
This project was so interesting, and you're about to find out why.
I still don't know what air tags are. I'm assuming it's like a little Neopet.
Now, the first thing I want to address is this even legal? I tried to find information on the legalities of tracking a parcel, and, well, there's not a lot of information out there. So
They're
I got
Apple's
in contact
tracking
with some
device
lawyers.
for lost
The first
keys.
lawyer I contacted was from Germany, and he didn't see anything. Do I really think Elon Musk or Tim Cook will get my package? Honestly, probably not.
I think they will.
But maybe. Last thing, North Korea. Shipping items to North Korea from the US is not an easy task. In fact, due to strict economic sanctions imposed by the United States, all mail to North Korea
I didn't even know you could
is regulated
mail
by the
something to North
Office of
Korea.
Foreign Assets Control. So at the moment, only first-class letters and postcards can be sent. But I live in Germany, and it just so happens that DHL is one of the few logistics companies that still offer shipping to North Korea. Why North Korea? Well, the intention here
I'd be
certainly isn't
terrified
be
to
in
send
any way
something to North
provocative,
Korea.
but there's a lot we don't know about this country, especially from a technology perspective. Like, do they have access to the internet? Or do they even own iPhones? Well, unless they have both of those, the AirTags will go completely undetected. But fear not, I came across a website called StatCounter, which claims to have data on North Korea's smartphone market share. And
What?
according to them, iPhone is the second most popular smartphone in the country. Second
It has to be the
Samsung.
only.
But what's
What?
weird is, just last month, Apple was #1. I had to dig deeper into this. So I dug through this website to try and understand where and
Exodus
how
of
exactly they get
Boisterous
their
and
data.
Moon
It
Fluffy.
turns out they have their tracking API code
The
installed
Prime
on
Destroyer.
over 2 million websites globally. With this tracking data, they're able to extrapolate which country a user is from and which device they're using. I dug even deeper and found out that they even provide the sample sizes of their data for each country.
This guy is
North
very
Korea,
thorough.
The smartphone sample size was 538. After some browsing on Google Maps, I noticed there was a German embassy in the center of Pyongyang.
Oh,
Perfect. Found the
coward.
address
You
for
should
the
have made a
embassy
pen
online,
pal.
and of course, entered it in.
So,
It made it.
so right now the impressive thing is he sent a package to SpaceX and Apple Inc. and they made it to the destination. So we're just celebrating that the postal service works. Is that like the whole point of it? Thanks to Prime, Atlas, and Little Ant.
Unbelievable.
Well, let's see about
Honestly,
North Korea, I
I had no
guess.
idea if any of these parcels would make it to the end. That bad boy on its way. It made it to Frankfurt and was chilling with the first, eventually going to go to North Korea. So if you want to find out what happens to that parcel, be sure to subscribe. I really didn't want to have to split this video into 2 sections, but it's already been almost a month now, and I really wanted to get this video out there for you guys.
I appreciate all the work that went into that, but why? So it's basically just confirming that a package went where you told it to go? I thought something cool was going to happen with AirTags, but I guess I just don't know what they are.